Hi, welcome. This is a video, a screen video of how to use Google Forms. And so I'm going to start from the start, and sometimes people have a hard time because a video can get too involved right from the start. So I'm going to go right to the basis. Best place to use Google Forms is out of Google Chrome. So this will work on either PCs or Macs, or of course Chromebooks, and you would need to be in Google Chrome. So once you're in Google Chrome, you can open up Google Chrome, and I'm going to make this full screen, and then you can go to the right hand corner and sign in. Most of the time it'll keep you signed in unless you're new to Google Chrome. If you're not, you can choose an account. If you're not got your account and you haven't set up your Google Chrome to be associated with your APS email address, this is the time to do it. You can use another account or set it up. I've already set up my account, so I'm just going to click on that one. My personal email account's right there, and then you log in with your password. It's the same password you use for my.aps.edu. Okay, then it brings you to your straight up starting Google screen, and where you want to go is in the upper right hand corner. Okay, and you'll see something I call the waffle. All right, you click on that, and it brings up all of your applications that you can use. The one that we're going to talk about today is called Google Forms. It's purple, and it may not be on your initial screen. I moved mine up here. You may have to click where it says more right here, and it has more stuff down here, and so you need to do that. So you might need to click on more, and Google Forms might be right down back here. Okay, so click on Google Forms. That will launch Google Forms. And my Google Forms has tons of Google Forms in it because I use Google Forms all the time. Love Google Forms. And that's why we're talking about this right now. You can start from a new form that's a complete blank. You can choose course evaluation, blank quiz, exit ticket, assessment, worksheet, and there's also a template gallery that has all kinds of other Google Forms that are already set up for you. So there's a find a time, contact information if you wanted to pull all the contact information from your staff. However you wanted to get information from your staff, you could do that. In fact, you could click on one called course evaluation, and it sets it up for you. Please commit soon. It's already in here. The instructor, level of effort. Look at all of these things are already done, ready to go, ready to be launched right now. And so I'm going to go back because I don't want to do this. I want to show you how to set up a form from scratch. So from scratch, and I've set up a lot of different forms. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to do a form that's going to be about let's do one question that's about intentions for next year. Okay, and we're going to type in the name of the form, staff intentions. Oops. Cool thing is when you start doing this, it will start setting up the kind of question it is in option one. Okay, so I've typed in a couple different ways of answering that question. It comes in multiple choice. I can change the different kinds of ways of answering. If I felt like I wanted a short answer, paragraph, multiple choice, checkboxes, drop down, and all of these are kind of self-explanatory. I have not used linear scale, multiple choice grid, or checkbox grid. I just don't seem to ask those kind of questions of my staff, but you certainly could get data from that, and you can also include a date and a time box if you want to. So that's the first question that I have right here. If I wanted to add another question, we can answer it right there. Question, you can add last name. Sometimes that's a good thing to know. You don't have to do that, and let me show you why in a few moments here, but I also wanted to show you something else. You could go, this is a required question, and you also probably want to, for this particular survey, click on required down here. Now, you can go on and on and on. I could use a lot of time teaching you that, but I think you get the point. Here's where things start to get interesting. First of all, I'm going to click on this, on staff intentions, and then I'm going to click right up here, and guess what? My form has just been renamed with just one click. That's awesome. It's going to get saved in my forms, but I could change right here what folder it gets saved to in Drive, and since everything is saved in Drive, that's excellent. And I could star that if I want to make a special note for it. I can change the color palette of my background to red. I can also choose pictures, and you can choose all kinds of different things to choose. And let's just choose an illustration, and choose Easter eggs. Why not? And so it changes everything. It looks beautiful. That's all good stuff. Up here in the upper right hand corner, there's a couple things that are important besides this palette box and showing me how I'm going to change my backgrounds. In settings, this is an important place to go. If you don't want to get last names, you can collect email addresses, or you cannot collect email addresses. So the cool thing about this is if you need to do an anonymous collection of information from your staff, you could not collect email addresses. If you don't want to know who answered in a certain way, you could not collect the email addresses. If you collect email addresses, then that's a simple way of doing that. And then you can take off that last name because you pretty much will know exactly who that is. If you restrict it to Albuquerque Public School users, that can just go to your staff, and it cannot be sent outside of your Albuquerque Public School users. And it will also do this. If your staff member is signed in with their private account, and this will cause problems with you, so this is important to know. If they're not signed in with their APS Google account, and they're not in their APS Google account, they will not be able to answer your form. And they may say, I can't answer your form. You need to ask them to sign in to Google with their non-personal email address, and then they should be able to answer the form. If you want to allow your parents to respond to a form that you're doing, you're going to unclick that. In that case, you may want to ask for a last name or name so that you can find out you have it more than just somebody's email address that says sexytomatoes21. You just really don't want to, that you're not going to be able to tell who that is unless you don't really want to know who sexytomatoes21 is. You can limit it to one response. That's a great thing to do. You can allow people to edit it after they submit, or you cannot, so they can, if they're voting for something, maybe you don't want to have them to edit after they submit, or you can create an amount of time and you can turn off the form, you can turn on the form. I would always kind of limit it to one response unless you want to get more than one response. The settings are fantastic. In the presentation, you can show a progress bar in case you have a lot of questions. You can shuffle the questions orders. That's always a great thing, and you can always create a nice little thing. And you can say thank you so much. You can make it into a quiz. So this is a great tool for teaching your teachers. Hey, you can make a quiz after you have them watch a video, and then you can quiz to make sure that they've actually watched the video. That's always a nice tool. So I'm going to not make this a quiz because I'm not interested in that. Okay, I'm going to click Save. That's great. So one of the things that you can do is you can see your responses. So the other thing that you can do here is click on preview, and what that does is it launches a copy of it. I guess, okay. Excellent, and it allows me to edit. So I'm done there. Now, what you can see is instantaneously it's already collected a response even though it's just a preview. So let's go into responses here. Google Forms automatically creates different pie charts. It creates different response tools so that you can see it already. It's fantastic. You can copy this chart and put it into an email or however you want to use it. This is a fantastic tool to use. It does it automatically. The other great thing that it does is it can create a spreadsheet, okay? And I'm going to call it and you could save this work to an existing spreadsheet or whatever you want to do. So we can create, clicking on create, and here it goes. It says a timestamp, it got an email address, it says my last name, stay at the school. And now we can start sorting this, okay? And it's automatically collecting it to a spreadsheet that you can use. You can bring this information to Budget Call, and all of a sudden you know with pretty good certainty whether or not you're going to be talking to staff. I can show you when we do the training, I'll probably show you a spreadsheet of my staff. I won't do this in a public forum, but I can show you what I've done with my staff intentions form that I'm going to share with you so that you can send it out to your staff. Let's see. The other thing that you can do is when you click on send, okay, you're like, how do I send this out? How does it get this out to my staff? Most of the time what I do is I just get here and I create a link, and you can shorten the link here so it's nice and small. You copy it, you paste it into Outlook, and off it goes, okay? But you can send an email directly from Google Forms. You just have to send it to all those financial staff. I've already created a group that's all those financial staff. That's fantastic. And I can make it an email version from right here, and boom, it's gone. Okay, I don't want to do that because my staff has already seen this. If you wanted to embed this in your web page, you could embed this in your web page so it's doing a constant feed of information for you from your web page about what their web page looks like. Do you like Twitter? Do you not like Twitter? Do you know about our Facebook page? You could create an online form that is pulling information for you from your web page all the time. It could be a simple survey, so you're getting feedback from your community or your teachers or whatever you're interested in doing. It's a fantastic tool. It obviously is ready to go to Facebook, or it can actually be tweeted out. Trying to think about any other features that you might want to know. If you have questions about it, I would recommend just playing around. You can download responses, you can print all the responses, you can delete all the responses, you can get email notification if you want new responses. The other cool thing is that in the settings, you can also, I believe you can turn off responses. Oh, right here, this is important. So let's say you have a vote on something or you want to collect information, and now you want to turn off whether you're accepting responses or not. You can do that by right there. Okay, so it's pretty cool. You have control of whether or not you're receiving information or not. I hope that's enough information to let you know how forms work. It's a super useful tool that you can use right out of Google. It's free. It's free to everybody in APS. Your teachers can use it. Your EAs can use it. Your students can use it. They can survey each other. They can survey the community. You can survey your staff, and that's most importantly what we're talking about, is getting information from your staff and creating forms for you to use. The other thing I'd like to show you before we leave is, let me show you something. It came up that people wanted to, well, I was curious if people were reading my emails. So I created this survey, and here's what it looked like. So I've got a collection of all the people who responded. And then I've got a waiting for 32 responses because I've gone out to my staff. I could send out an email reminder to those staff, hey, you haven't responded to me. What's up with that? I like to get information, and it lets me know exactly how that goes. I was able to copy this and put it into my Printful weekly send, and that's the information to get. It's a super useful tool. It's also nice to know who does not respond to your request for information. You maybe hit them up, say, hey, did you not see my survey? Do you not like me? Do you not want to communicate with me by surveys? How can I get this information to you separately? And hit them up for more information. That about covers it. I hope you found this edifying, and I hope you found it interesting, and I hope it wasn't too much at one time. Please let me know if you have questions, and thank you very much for watching this little video.